In order to continue, let us make a final edit on our sketch 2. In that sketch, we say edit sketch. And the change I want to make is to add an arc to the bottom part to make it a little bit rounded. And we can say here, create an arc, and I want to create a center arc. The arc is centered at the point of rotation of the crank. So that is this place, that's the center. And I want it to go to the edge here and then end at the edge here. So that will be the last addition we will make to this, and then say finish sketch. In order to get the rotating parts of this that will be held inside the bearing, what we will need to do is to look at another sketch. And this sketch is going to be on the ZX construction plane. So in this sketch, if we edit this sketch, we can say edit this sketch. This sketch is presently blank and it's on the ZX plane. So we could have started by saying create sketch. And because I didn't switch off the sketch I did earlier, which is this one, if we want to look at everything, we can go home and we'll see everything clearly. But I want to take a look at things from my ZX plane. So I'm going to click the ZX plane so that we can see everything clearly from here. And in this sketch, I want to begin by doing some, I want to begin by doing a 2-point rectangle. So I say create rectangle, and I'm taking a 2-point rectangle. And my 2-point rectangle is going to start from somewhere along this coordinate line, and it will end somewhere here. So it is for me now to add some dimensions to it. The first dimension I want to add is what is the extent of this? What is this distance? So I can just take my dimensioning tool and I pick this distance here. And this distance is going to be not just a number. I'm going to add the side of the crank there, the side parameter. And I'm going to add to that, the crank. I'm going to add to that the pin width divided by 2. The pin width divided by 2. Pin width divided by 2. Then, oh no, that's not enough. So I'm still going to edit that. Then I want to add something more to that. Pin width divided by 2. And I want to add the slide, the sleeve to that, plus. It's okay. So when I'm happy with that, I can enter it, and so that is the distance I want from the origin. Is to soon become clear why we have to add all of that. And now, what about this side? This side here, I'm going to go again, and I'm going to add I'm going to use the side, no, that is the side thickness here. Is that what? Let me just check the parameters that I have so as to be very sure. What I want to use there is it's not a crank radius, but it's about the size of the crank radius. So let me just use the crank radius, which is 40 there. So okay, here I want to use the crank radius here. That is the size that I want to use in that place. So then the next thing is this one here. I want to take this distance, and then I want to use the crank. This is actually the crank radius. So use the crank radius there. Crank radius. Then with that done, I want to make sure that these things are anchored to the coordinate line. So I'm going to do here a collinearity. I want a collinearity between this, and this. So I want everything there to be on this. So that anchors this to the origin there, to the coordinate line. Now, I want to do a line again, this line from here to here. And what do I want to do with that line? I want that line to be of a thickness of a dimension from this to this. I want it to be 2. What do I want to do with that? First thing is that I want to modify this rectangle here. To modify this rectangle, first of all, I want to extend this line here. I want to extend this line and extend this line. So I've extended those 2 lines, and I want to add 2 more lines to them. This line, I want a line here, and I want another line here. Those lines are vertical. Those lines are vertical, and what I'm doing here is that I'm going to let's make this one a little bit bigger so that we can see what's going on there. In these lines I've added, I'm going to do some cutting. So I want to cut this, and cut this, cut this, and cut this, cut this, and this. Okay, so I haven't done that. This dimension is gone, so I want to put it back again. This dimension is 2, 2, and this dimension is defined as sleeve. So, and then this one, I want this dimension here. No, I want an equality control. I want to say this dimension sleeve. First of all, this sleeve is already done. So I want this dimension to be equal to this one. So I want to put an equality constraint. This one is equal to this one. Then I can also, this one is already known, so there's no problem there. So the next thing I want to do is to make it smaller again. With this, I want a mirror. So here, choose your mirror, and I want everything here to be mirrored, and I'm selecting a mirror line, and the mirror line that's before I take the origin, and I'm using the z-axis to mirror. So if that's okay, so that one has to be mirrored. Lastly, on this, I'm going to add another rectangle. This time again, a 2-point rectangle. No, create 2-point rectangle. 2-point. So I want the rectangle to start from here and somewhere here. So just to add dimensions to it now. This dimension here, I want this one to be the same as this side, and I want this one, this line here, this one to be 15. Okay, so with this done, it is now possible for us to do our necessary extrusions. So first of all, finish the sketch and make this thing like this. So to do our extrusions, we can do an extrusion of this first sketch here and say create extrude. I want to create an extrusion, and the profile that I want to extrude is this profile, and this profile. I want that profile extruded, and I'm not extruding from the offset plane, and I'm not extruding from the profile plane. I want to extrude from an offset plane, and the offset I want to use is equal to the pin width divided by 2, pin width divided by 2, so pin width divided by 2 plus the sleeve. Okay, so if I'm happy with that, and the distance I want is on one side, and the distance I want to use is the side, so, and then let us say okay. If I say okay there, and then we can take a look at so that is the material we have just created as a result of that extrusion, and everything is parameterized, as you can see. So let us go back again and then do a mirror. This time it's a 3-dimensional mirror. So go back home, we're going to do a 3-dimensional mirror here, and then create mirror. Now this is the bodies I want to mirror. This is just the body I want to mirror. And then now, before we used to use mirror axis because we're in 2 dimensions. Now in 3 dimensions we are having a mirror plane. So we select the mirror plane. The mirror plane here now is the ZY plane. That is the mirror plane. So I can choose the ZY plane, and if that is okay, that is it. So let us look again at what we have done. So that is the second mirror. Now the next thing we are going to do is to do the revolving of these two profiles. So we can create a revolve, and then what do I want to do revolving? I want to do the revolve of this space here, this one here, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I've selected 6 objects. Let us see 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 6 objects are supposed to be revolved, and we are still in 2 dimensions because of that sketch. So the next thing is to select a revolving axis. So I can select this as the revolving axis, and then I want to create new bodies. So new body. Now, even though I chose new body, because of the disjointness of the body of the things I'm extruding, it's not going to create one body but 2. So if I say okay, now what do we have? Let us go home and see what we have here. So here we can take a look at everything straight here. You can see how it looks like now. So this is how it looks like on this side, and this is how it looks like on this side. And then we can go home, and we have finished the first set of objects that we want.